Welcome back to another video. So this has kind of been a somewhat long overdue type of video, mainly because this was something that I actually wanted to do pretty early on when I started this channel. It was very important to me to add this as a part of my channel because it's definitely something that is near and dear to my heart, and it's a part of my process and where God has me on my journey right now. So, to those of you who are new and who have never um, been on this channel before, my name is Veronica. I actually have another channel. It's more so a ministry channel. And I wanted to start a second channel to kind of show other variations of myself. Um, I enjoy cooking when I'm in the mood to. And I just always had a love for hair, anything hair related. And, I enjoy vlogs. I enjoy watching vlog channels. And, I love the whole creative side of editing and putting things together to, see what the finished product would look like. So I wanted to kind of utilize my natural loves and my natural creative, um, just little things that I know that I am naturally creative in. And I wanted to kind of be able to utilize that on a second channel. Um, but another aspect that I wanted to share was my WTC journey. Now, all throughout YouTube, you see countless of women who are sharing their TTC journey, which is trying to conceive. And the reason why my journey is different and the reason why I named mine different is because it is different. If you're wondering what WTC stands for, it's waiting to conceive. Now, I don't know if anybody else has ever utilized that acronym on this platform, but that was something that I came up with on my own because I knew that my journey was different, although the end goal is the same. We're all wanting to have a child, but the difference between where God has me versus what you predominantly see on YouTube when it comes to the trying to conceive community is this is really not something that I myself set out to do. Meaning, um, in my 30s, I really didn't have a desire to have another child. It wasn't really a thought that I had. Um, Very rare, me and my husband would have a conversation, and we always would just come to the, just we would both just be in agreement, to say that, yeah, we don't think that's something that we will want to do. And so I was okay with that. He was okay with that. As I got closer to my 40s, I'm actually 43. And I want to say when I hit 38, I started having thoughts. Thoughts in the sense of, I think I could do another child, but I still wasn't in the processes of trying to make it happen. It was just a thought. So when I turned 39, um, that is when everything started changing. Um, I literally had an experience where I heard the Lord tell me that He was going to give me a child. And there's more to the story, but I'm kind of touching the surfaces right now for specific reasons. But I had that experience, and it was like, okay, this is something that is beyond me. This is something that um, is really not about what I personally want or what I personally don't want. This was something that, the Holy Spirit literally told me. he was going to do. And so now that changes the game, right? Um, I now felt that God was saying these things to me because there was purpose intended in him giving me and my husband another son. And he did tell me that we will have another son. Currently, me and my husband, we do have two sons. They're older. One is 23, my youngest is 18. And, he told me that, we were going to have another son, and he told me the name that I should call that son. Now, fast forward, I had this experience in 2019. A few months down the road, I ended up getting pregnant. Um, and it was one of those situations where it was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, I just heard this word a few months prior, and now I'm pregnant. This definitely has to be it. I ended up miscarrying shortly. I would say it was 1 to 2 weeks prior to me having my 8-week ultrasound appointment. So I had a miscarriage. I ended up doing a D&C because I had what you would call a missed miscarriage. My body could not experience the loss. So I had to have a D&C in order for it to be removed. That was a very traumatic experience for me. I never experienced anything like that before. I was emotionally a wreck. Spiritually, I was very confused because, this whole time I had not been pregnant, and I'm hearing, God telling me he's going to bless us with another child. I get pregnant months later, and here it is, I'm having a miscarriage. So after I experienced that loss, there was so many different emotions that I was experiencing during that time, of course. But it ended up being where I got pregnant again months down the road. Um, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm pregnant a second time. Of course, I was scared because I just experienced a miscarriage. I did not want to go through that again. I didn't want to go through another D&C surgery because I had been doing research after the fact that you want to be careful in not having multiple D&C surgeries because it can, scar. I think it's the endometrium area, which could make it harder for you to conceive. Well, not so much conceive, but to carry a child to full term. So I knew that that was an option that I was not going to do again if I was to experience another miscarriage. So, like I said, I found out I'm pregnant. We made it to the 8-week ultrasound appointment. We saw the baby. We heard the heartbeat. We were literally thinking everything was going to be a go this time. Me and my husband, excuse me, me and my husband, we were very excited. We were making plans. Everything seemed to be going as planned. Again, the Lord told me we were going to have a child. So we were thinking, okay, the first time that was a fluke. We heard the heartbeat. Everything is good. So I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm taking my prenatals. I'm being careful. My husband is making sure I'm not lifting. We're trying our hardest to play it safe. And weeks down the road, I started experiencing some bleeding, more like spotting at the time. And, I was just very, nervous. We were scheduled for our 12-week appointment. Again, I'm having all the pregnancy symptoms, nothing really out the ordinary because I had been doing a lot of reading. You know how us women are. We're on Google researching, looking up everything. And I kept running into, spotting is common. It's nothing to stress yourself over. And so, like I said, I'm still experiencing, the pregnancy symptoms. So I'm thinking everything is good. I'm thinking we're going to go to the appointment. we're going to see the baby growing and thriving. And, we were devastated a second time because we were told that our baby had stopped growing at 9 weeks. So here it is. I was carrying around a baby for 3 weeks, not knowing that it was no longer alive. I did not want to do another DNC surgery. I was very fearful of the peel option because I was reading a lot of testimonies of women who said that was the worst experience they ever went through. And so the only other option I had was to let it pass naturally. So that's what I did. I let the baby pass naturally. It took an additional week. So it took my body a month to realize that there was a loss. And so I started expelling that pregnancy, and that was very traumatizing, because you're not really prepared to know what all is going to come out during that expelling. And it can definitely freak you out if you're not prepared and if nobody has ever explained to you what to expect. So that was my situation. I was very freaked out. Thank God I had my husband there the whole time. And so again, I was left very confused. I was not understanding. There was a part of me that really didn't even want to try again. Me and my husband talked about it, and we both decided that, it's really up to me. My husband was okay either way because he understood what this was really doing to me, to my body. And it was also causing him, a lot of pain as well. Because he truly did want another child, and he still would love to have another child, as I would as well. And so months again went down, or months continued on, and I just I was just in a place where it's like, okay, Lord, you're going to have to help me understand what's going on here, because this is really not making sense to me. This is what you told me. I've experienced 2 miscarriages. I don't feel like I'm strong enough to even do this again. And it really took a lot for me to just really heal emotionally and not allow these experiences to cause me to lose faith, to cause me to lose hope, because I know God's voice. I know when He's speaking to me. And again, months later, I ended up getting pregnant a third time. And this time I was very scared, but I was fighting with trying to not allow the fear to combat my faith. That was a struggle. That was a major struggle. But unfortunately, that pregnancy ended at 6 weeks. And I chose the option to let the pregnancy expel. And so that was my recent one, that happened February 13th of this year, 2021. So this whole time I've been really just trying to just evaluate, everything, and trying to, again, just assess, what God is doing, why all of this is happening. Why would God tell me this is what He was going to do? But I've now had 3 miscarriages. And so I started to kind of take a step back, and I was looking at the fact that all 3 pregnancies, it was something that I was trying to do. I was paying attention to, my fertile week. I was making sure that me and my husband were being intimate during that time. And it dawned on me that I was stepping ahead of what God's timing was. Meaning, I was trying to conceive instead of waiting to conceive. See, when you're trying to conceive, you're going through all the protocols. You're paying attention to your fertile week. You're paying attention to when you're ovulating. You're making sure that you're practicing intimacy during that fertile week. You're going through all these different measures that a woman goes through to ensure that she gets pregnant. The difference in where I was, this was not something that I was supposed to try. God told me that He was going to give me another son, meaning this was going to be His timing. And it took 3 miscarriages for me to understand that. Um, and so now I've been in a place where I'm not so much trying to conceive, but I'm waiting for God's timing. The thing is, my 2 sons that I currently, have, they're 5 years apart. And there were no preventive measures that me and my husband did. We wasn't trying to conceive. We were just enjoying each other. And it just so happened I got pregnant, right? Both times. And this whole time, you know, it's been 18 years since I've had my youngest son. There really is no sure, fail proof, preventable measure that anybody can take. You hear of women conceiving on birth control, even women who have gotten their tubes tied, they are still conceiving, you know? And I, I look at that and I say, it doesn't matter what we try to avoid. If it's purposed, it's still going to happen. And so now my outlook is different. My outlook now is, number one, I have to trust and believe that what God told me will come to pass. Number two, if God said it, then He's going to make sure it happens, because His word does not return void unto Him. And I have to make the choice to say that regardless of how long time may go, if God said that this is what He was going to do, then He's going to do it. It doesn't matter how old I am. It doesn't matter if menopause is knocking on the door. If God said He's going to do a thing, He's going to do it. And so that's why my journey is a waiting to conceive journey, because I cannot step on God's toes. I cannot speed the process and rush Him, because again, His timing is so perfect and He knows exactly what He's doing, and He knows the right time to bring a thing into fruition. So I wanted to really just kind of explain this WTC journey, because I have not seen it here on YouTube. And usually you see women that are trying to conceive, they're doing everything to make it happen. In my case, I cannot make it happen. I'm literally waiting on God to give me what He said He was going to give me. So it's a very unique place to be in. And I know it's not uncommon, because there are many women that have been promised children. And some women have never had children. Some women are in my situation. They've had children, but, God told them that He was going to bless them with more. And so I truly believe that, God is really doing amazing things. I hear of so many stories of women who didn't even know they were pregnant for a long time. Now, that is definitely not a testimony that I want to have. And God knows, Lord, do not let me be one of those women. But it just shows how amazing, God is. And He just knows, He knows what He's doing. We may not always understand, but God truly knows what He's doing. And He has a perfect explanation for why He does the things He does and why He allows the things He allows. And so I just wanted to just go a little bit more in depth with, you know, why this is my journey. And I would love to be able to share, good and bad, this journey with you all. I've already uploaded a video here on this channel, kind of speaking a little bit more on, the loss. I just, wanted to put this out here because I want to just try to help as many women as I can who may be going through this, and may not be able to find any other videos on this platform that is speaking on this. When you're waiting to conceive, it's literally a wait. When we look at Sarah and Abraham, Sarah was well into her older years, to where the human body, from a natural biological standpoint, could not produce a child, could not conceive and carry full term, in her older years. But God, being God, opened her womb at the age of 99 years old. And we see across the world countless testimonies of women in their 50s, 60s, 70s that are having babies. And so, in so many ways, God truly is, purposely doing things. And I just truly believe that, to those of you who have been waiting, who have been, just trying your hardest to hold on to your faith, holding on to the promise. God knows that this is hard for you, and He does, in His own way, give us grace, even when we may not fully recognize it. He gives us grace. He gives us the strength that we need to keep going, to keep believing, keep holding on to His word and what He told us. And I just want to encourage you guys, to those of you who are in this position, know that God's word is true. And if He spoke it, He will perform it. So if you have any questions, please leave your comments down below. You can also email me if you don't feel comfortable putting your comment down. You can email me at kingdomjournals@yahoo.com. And yeah, I hope this video blesses you. I will speak on additional topics. If you have an interest in wanting to know a little bit more, please leave your questions again down below. I hope and pray that you all have a blessed day, and I look forward to speaking with you all in the next video. All right, you guys, take care. Love you. Bye.